Being creative is a journey of fun, excitement, opportunity, and sometimes surprises. And like every journey, it begins with a single step. Here are 5 ideas to get you started. My name is Brian Carey. Welcome to Photography and the Creative You. About a dozen years ago, I was out at one of my favourite places doing some seascape photography, and I came across a Scandinavian man who was visiting, and he was out doing the same. We chatted for a while, and he told me about how much fun he was having with his new fisheye lens. Now at the time, I was doing a lot of other work, and I wasn't even considering getting a fisheye lens. Then a couple of years later, Google contacted me about working on the Google Maps program, and I needed one for that. So I got one. I began playing with it, and all I can say is that the fun factor exploded, and I used that lens a lot over the next few months to see what it could do. There are 2 main types of fisheye lenses. There's a circular and a full frame fisheye. Circular fisheye lenses capture a 180-degree angle of view or larger as a circle. Full frame fisheye lenses produce an enlarged image area that covers the entire image area from corner to corner. From a creative standpoint, I can say the images created by a fisheye lens are somewhat alien to our senses. And what I mean is that even with experience, I sometimes find it hard to visualize what I'm going to get when I use it. Visualization is pretty easy with other lenses, and sometimes the surprises you get with a fisheye lens add to the fun of using them. And not only that, like a wide-angle lens, you can use the distortion of these lenses as a part of the creative process. I sometimes use a fisheye lens for landscape photography, but one thing to remember is that you may need to keep the horizon in the center of the frame, otherwise it will bend or bow. However, sometimes you can change various distortion effects in your editing software if you want. A final note on fisheye lenses. Just like any lens, its effective focal length and angle of view is dependent on the sensor size of your camera. So be sure to do some research if you decide to buy one. If someone told me 20 years ago we'd all be going around with a supercomputer in our pockets someday, I wouldn't have believed them, and I think most people would have felt the same. But here we are with just that. We have a device small enough to carry around, which we can use to make movies, make a video or a documentary. We can record or compose music, and of course we can use them to take fabulous photos. If you wanted to do some of these things a generation ago, it would have cost you a king's ransom to pay for it, but not anymore. And I just learned one of my favorite documentaries, Searching for Sugar Man, was shot on a phone, and there are many others. Now it's easy to find books, for example, written by accomplished photographers teaching us how to use our cell or mobile phones to do all kinds of photography. Of course, I'm simplifying things here, but the point I'd like to make is that you already have some great technology, and what you need now is the commitment. You put those things together and things are possible. Things will happen. All that being said, we are at a time when quantum computers and quantum networks are being developed, which will improve the power of computers and these things we call phones by an order of magnitude from what they are now. We now have incredible opportunities to be creative. One thing I hope to do with this channel is to find ways for us all to have more fun with our photography. And when it comes to creativity, for the fun of it, these 3 gentlemen come to mind for me. There's Russell Preston Brown, who works with Adobe. Joe McNally, who among other things worked for National Geographic, still works for National Geographic and worked for Life magazine. And one of the old masters, Elliott Erwitt. Among his great works are his photos of dogs and their owners. Some lovely work. I'll put links below where you can find them. Also, check out Pinterest or a simple web search might do. I work primarily as a event and portrait photographer, but sometimes I get asked to do family photos, and I look for examples online that I can use for inspiration and help me create a bit of fun in the session. There's some fun, lovely and inspirational work out there. Don't be afraid to use it. Getting out of your comfort zone and doing something different can be very rewarding and a lot of fun. Speaking from experience, the most profound example for me would be with my street photography. I'd seen some photos of people taken around town, around my hometown when I was a child, and I decided I wanted to do something like that. But I had no idea how or where I was going to start, and that was 13 years ago. And not only did it give me a chance to improve my technical skills, because of the experience of working with more people, I also became more relaxed. And indeed, many of my subjects, including myself, had a lot of fun doing it. And it's helped me with both my personal and professional work. I find the 4 pillars to great portrait photography are chemistry, composition, depth of field, and shutter speed. There are so many ways you can practice photography. Look for something different, something you haven't done before, and give that a go. I thought I'd try to compile a list of all the things you could photograph and soon realized it was impossible. But just because something is impossible doesn't mean you should give up on it. So I went to social media looking for some suggestions, and I got a few. I've practiced a lot of photography over the years. I've taken headshots and portraits. I've covered all kinds of events, including weddings, conventions and trade shows. I shot landscapes and seascapes, and I've even shot the night sky. But perhaps the most unique photography I ever did was to shoot light trails. And it's something most people haven't done because it looks much harder than it is. And the great thing about doing it is that you can't see the result even as you were shooting it. You might be able to visualize and get some idea, but the results are always surprising, and no 2 images are alike. When it comes to photography, surprises can be the best part of it. Shooting light trails involves using long exposures, usually capturing lights from passing traffic to form part of the image. It's usually done at night or during twilight. And if you'd like to give it a try, look for a nice roadway or curving street in your area to use as a canvas for your composition. I've got a video on light trails on this channel. I'll put a link below. And you don't need a lot of equipment to do it. All you need is a camera, a tripod, and a bit of patience. There are so many options out there in the creative space. Sometimes it's hard to know where to start. I hope you find something here. Thanks for watching.